Alright everyone, Shaitan here with more MLG replays, doing MLG replays all day, every day. This time we have the ZvZ on Shakura's Plateau between the blue Zerg, Vile Spanishiwa, and the red Zerg, sometimes Terran, sometimes random, but apparently going back to his Zerg roots, Liquid's TLO, aka the little one. So, TLO is known for unorthodox plays, to say the least. He is not quite Cat's level, but he usually does some very innovative stuff, very unexpected things he would use. You know, like in the GSL Season 1 or 2, he was the one that went nukes in TVT and just managed to almost get a Nostradamus nuke, taking out something like 15 Vikings or something that were just passing through where a defensive nuke landed. Things like that. I think he also started using Hellions against Zergs way back in GSL Open 1 before anyone else was. But so just really, it should be interesting to see what sort of game we have between these two. Spanishiwa is the originator of the, I think he wants to call it the Ice Fisher build. Don't ask me why. It's basically where you would get a fairly early hatch. I think it was 13 hatch, 15 pool, or maybe it was 13 pool, 15 hatch. I'm not sure. And you would delay getting your gas for a while to build up a very, very strong economy and rely on spine crawlers for defense. So against the 4-gate, you'd have 2 spine crawlers up. You'd have slow lings, which would suck, but spine crawlers are all right. And this would just let you, get a very, very strong economy going into the mid game, where you'd add on the 4 gases and then explode the economy that way. But in this game, we do not see Spanishiwa going for that build. He is getting that was an interesting drone. Drone's I don't want to go with the rest of you, but why is he doing that? Anyway, so he went for a 14-14 build. He's going to be getting speed. We'll see if he keeps the drones in gas. He should really fix this drone. It's annoying the hell out of me. But meanwhile, TLO has gone for a hatchery first, and then he got the spawning pool. That's what it is called. It allows you to make Zerglings, spine crawlers, and queens. And he's delaying his gas a bit. So we'll see when he decides to get it. I think it's going to depend. Does he know if his opponent... No, he doesn't know that his opponent still has 1 drone on gas. He sort of skedaddled away so he wouldn't get killed by any queens. But he does know that there are 4 Zerglings on the way. But, TLO, he's got this. He is going to have a couple of Zerglings on the way for himself. He is making a very, very fast spine crawler. He does not want to lose to very, very fast banelings. That would be... I would not like doing that either. And we see that Spanishiwa is expanding behind this, so he's not going to, or at least theoretically, he is not going to go, just mass speedlings off of 1 base. He's not going to cancel that. And we see that TLO is going to be able to drive out Spanishiwa with the 6-lings that he made. Now, in Harvesters, it is even right now, but you have to give the advantage to TLO just because he does have that extra base right now. And we see that the spine crawler is up. And there's a second spine crawler actually going up, which is going to be really, really good for him, because we see that Spanishiwa has dropped down a baneling nest. Now we'll see if he decides to keep the baneling nest, because I know if I were to walk into this situation and be like, hey, there are 2 spine crawlers, I'm not going to be able to do anything with my banelings. I would probably cancel it and make a road for it. Or maybe even take a 3rd. I don't know. Maybe make a defensive baneling nest. That's not that bad of an idea. But we do see that TLO is, just droning up. He's slightly behind his opponent still, actually. Interesting. So that's one of the advantages that these Zerglings give you, is you're able to, kind of make your opponent worried for what's coming. And we can see now that Spanishiwa sneaks 1 Zergling into the main. Bit of a miss wall by TLO. And this Zergling is going to be able to see exactly what's going on. Is it going to get a drone? It gets a drone. That is a hero Zergling. We will always remember your sacrifice for the cause, and Spanishiwa will hopefully remember you. But we see now that Spanishiwa is actually very, very content to play a macro game, so we see him just getting these 2 banelings. He has 2 Zerglings out here just to let him know when his opponent decides to move out, and he's just droning up. So because TLO doesn't know what Spanishiwa is doing, he is behind right now on drones by 3. He had to build those 2 spine crawlers because he didn't know if his opponent was going for heavy baneling pressure or if he was just going to drone up behind it. And so that's just going to keep him very, very comfortably in the lead macroeconomically. We do see that TLO is now behind by 7 drones. It'll catch up fairly soon. But we see that he's just now getting his Zergling speed, and so he's not going to have the map control he needs. So Spanishiwa going to be very comfortable just droning up. I know I keep repeating myself. Apologies. We do see the Evo chamber going down, so probably going to be going into Roach play after this. Bit of oversaturation in the main, but you know that's okay, Spanishiwa. We still love you. Now TLO is going up to 3 gases, so we'll see what he wants to do with this. Spanishiwa also is floating a lot of minerals, and look, like, I suck compared to these guys. 100% I lose to these guys 100% of the time, but it's interesting to note when you compare Korean players and Korean builds to foreign players, how comparatively unrefined their builds are. So we see right now that Spanishiwa is floating 600 minerals, right? Like, think of all the things you could do with that. You could get a macro hatchery. You could have, like a lot more drones. You could have this Roach worn down a little bit earlier. All of these little things. You could have these overlords popping out earlier so you're not supply blocked. All these little things add up, and if you watch, you know, like Korean players execute a build the exact same, or execute the exact same build as a foreign player, you'll see these little things adding up, and you'll be like, wait, how are they 5 supply apart a minute into the game? We do see a little bit of aggression, actually a lot of aggression coming in by TLO, and Spanishiwa is sending in a Baneling that's going to be able to take out just one of the Banelings. There are 2 spine cars going on with a bit of a SimCity going on right here, and some what's it called? Some Banelings are being made, and it looks like TLO is just going to skedaddle out of here. We do see a Baneling coming in, but he can let that Baneling go in because one Baneling will not kill all of your drones. So really just not all that effective of an engagement from TLO. But the thing is look at the drone differential, right? Now we have TLO taking lead 52 to 39, and I don't really know where Spanishiwa's where Spanishiwa's drones are, because I mean he has, you know, pretty decent queen injects. It's under 25 at all times, and this is where, you know, all that extra money could come in handy because he's supply blocked again. He could have built another hatchery. All of these things would have allowed him. Here we do see a 3rd hatchery going on. All of these things would have allowed him to get more drones, get the stronger economy. But we see in TLO's base that there is a spore. Well, not a spore, a spire. Right here in the main. It's going to go down. It's going to finish fairly soon, and TLO should have enough for 9 or 10 mutas if he makes those overlords. They are on the way. Good job, TLO. And he's using this opportunity to also take the 3rd base, because if we look at Spanishiwa's base, he's just roaching up. And really, when this attack hits, he is probably going to have to just go all in because he has nothing against these mutas that are on the way. We finally see the Overseer has flown in. He's seen exactly what was going on, but the 3rd base is going to be canceled right now. Only 5 mutas? TLO, where are your larvae? There they are. Nope. Come on, TLO. There we go. So more Mutalisks are coming, but this Hydra Den is only halfway done. We only have 2 queens. These aren't joined by creep, and we see 1, 2 spore crawlers. Nothing in the natural. Oh, there's this one in the natural. But really, TLO could do a lot of damage, and now we see that Spanishiwa is going to go in for the counterattack. He almost has to because he was just caught so far, like caught with his pants down. But TLO just has enough units to where really this attack isn't going to do all that much. Spanishiwa might kill 7 or 8 drones, but all that this is really able to accomplish is it's giving him enough time to get up these Hydralisks. Because without those, if those Mutalisks had just flown straight to Spanishiwa's base, he would have been fucked. But we see that, unfortunately, Spanishiwa still does not have his 3rd base up. He had the cancel. The cancel was forced. So it's only about halfway up, done right now. These Mutalisks are going to be able to clear out, you know, they were going to be able to go 3, 4, 5, 6 overlords really, really easily. If they wanted to, they could go cancel this base. We do see a little bit of an engagement where TLO loses 1, maybe 2 Mutalisks, I'm not sure, to these Hydralisks, and that's going to keep his base defended right there. Spanishiwa making some defensive Banelings as well. And the thing is now, TLO just has this base up so much earlier than his opponent, and he's doing the exact... I like this response, personally. Against a player that is going Hydra in response to your Mutalisks, What's good against Hydras? They're really, really slow, they're light, make Banelings, right? The Banelings can just take out Hydras if the Hydras aren't properly split, and microing Hydras is nothing like microing Marines because they're slow as hell. We do see a burrow going down, so ooh, nice. So Spanishiwa reveals the burrow to save his all of his drone line, but that is going to, you know, reveal that he has burrow. So now I wouldn't be surprised for TLO to make, you know, a spore at every base next to his spine, so infestor run-bys or you know, big burrowed roach movement run-bys aren't going to be an issue. We see the TLO is up about 40 supply. He is going to be supply blocked. No hatch, no overlords on the way. And really, right now, TLO is just in such a commanding position that if he wanted to, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't done more damage with these Mutalisks, and he's not actually making any more, which is very odd, because, you know, you're at 8 Mutalisks, right? You don't have the tech to, like, you're behind on upgrades. His roaches are +1/+1 compared to his opponents, where your Hydras, his opponents +2/+0, soon to be +1. So really, the thing that you have going for you, that advantage as hard as you can. But we'll see how it works out for TLO. He is going to have, does he have a better economy? It's fairly even on drones. He does have a couple more. I'd like to see him maybe, you know, take an expansion right here just so he would have the backup bigger economy compared to his opponent. But we see now that Spanishiwa is down 30 supply, and that might be enough for TLO to just take this, because right now it's up about 20 supply, and most of that is an army. Only about 5 of it is a worker difference, and we see Overseers are popping out, TLO moving in with the Roaches, and Roach Hydra beats Roach, but Pure Hydra not so good against Roach, just because they're so fragile. And it almost seems odd that you would like see that happen, but the Roaches are just so beefy. They have 145 health, so they can take on Hydras fairly effectively. We do see Infestors are out for Spanishiwa, so he's able to get a couple of nice fungals, and he'll probably be able to hold his natural ramp, but this third base is probably going to be taken down if TLO decides to go for it, and he really should. These mutas are going to go and do some harass. We see the run-by from TLO with the Roaches, so he's going to be able to take this out and then probably skedaddle out of here. Now, it looks like he's actually going to lose all of his units, but if he were to just focus fire this hatchery, it wouldn't be all that bad of an idea. Instead, we see him just engaging directly. 2-1 versus 1-1. And is TLO going to hold? I think TLO is going to be pretty close. But the problem is that Spanishiwa has just lost so many units. He's down 28, or he's lost 28 harvesters. He only has 35 to the 66 of TLO. And so he just knows that this is an irrecoverable situation.